yeah? He's alive. Okay, keep him there.
Good day, viewers. Welcome back to NIMASA podcast show. I remain your special host, CHUKWUMA MOGHALU. And of course, as usual, we have a special discussion. With us live here in the NIMASA podcast studio is a very special guest, Chef Harrison Okene. Chef Harrison is somebody I refer to as the man after God's own heart. Of course, the internet now refers to him as the accidental AQUANAUT. So we'll be hearing from him today. He will share his experiences and give us some insight of what his past has been, and of course what he's doing at the moment and his future endeavors.
Okay. All right.
26th day of May 2013. There was this story trending on the internet where divers were attempting to access a vessel that went underboard. This vessel capsized off the Nigerian coast, far in the Gulf of Guinea. What they didn't expect to find while accessing this capsized vessel was a 29-year-old man still alive 3 days after an unfortunate accident. Wow. He spent 3 days underwater, far below 100 feet at the bottom of the ocean. This is an epic story. But before I continue, let's allow Mr. Harrison tell us firsthand and give us firsthand experience of what transpired that day. It's good to have you, sir. Welcome to NIMASA Podcast Studio.
Thank you very much. I remain Harrison Okene, and this incident took place in May 26, 2013. And then I was working on board a vessel, Jascon 4, and I was the chef on board the vessel, which is, you can also call it a cook on board the vessel as well. I was working on that Jascon 4 several occasions because I've been working in that same company, and I've worked in 8 vessels in 2 years and 4 months that I've been in that company.
Okay.
Then on that fateful day, I was
in the 2 years you had spent in the company, you had worked on 8 different vessels already.
Because of recommendation of my
skills.
handwork,
Okay.
my skills.
Yeah.
So I was what we call it cross-posted. So I was cross-posted to that vessel.
Okay.
So I was there just to be for 2 weeks. So actually, I finished my 2 weeks. I was about going on time off. My reliever said he's not feeling too good, so he has to stay. I have to stay 1 more week for him. So the following week, whereby I have to stay for him, I have spent 3 days, and we're told to go to the Escravos SBM3 to do a mooring operation on a vessel, a tanker coming to the SBM to pick crude oil from Nigeria, and it's a Russian vessel. So we were there. The first day, the loading was going on. The second day, the loading was going on. The third day, on the 9th of it, so I was trying to round up in my galley, and I heard a conversation when they were trying to tell the vessel, which is the Jascon 4, to slack on the towing wire because there was swell and the water was tumbling up and down, so they slacked the towing wire, and we went to bed. And the morning of it is a Sunday, which is the 26th, and the vessel need to cast up, but it has not gotten to that time. So it was 10 minutes to 5. I have gone to the galley.
That's in the morning?
In the morning, yeah.
Okay.
So early in the morning, so I was in my cabin, I finished my prayer, I walked out, I went to the galley, I put on my hot plate so they can get hot, because it used to take time normally. So I went to the bathroom to paste. When I got there, I saw 3 other guys in there. So I said, okay, let me just use the toilet before I will be out. Maybe they must have been done with their pasting. I was inside the WC, I just sat down when the vessel waved to the port side and went to the starboard side, and I heard the bosun shouting. It's like this vessel is about to sink. It's about to sink. I was just like, it's a normal talk. There's nothing serious. The next thing I saw was the vessel upside down. The WC I was sitting was on top of me.
So what would have led to a vessel to sink that fast after that wobbling and all of that?
Yeah, actually, at that moment in time, I never knew what was going on.
Okay.
It was when the vessel turned upside down, and before I could hold the handle of the door, the vessel is already on the seabed, and I heard the anchors falling on top of the vessel. And I was surprised. We were shouting, trying to find our way out. We could not. The water came from the ash of the vessel because the propeller was already up. And from the ash, because we locked all doors because of pirates. And they were all watertight doors. So the water couldn't come from the door. So it came from the ash. So and one of the wheelers' doors open, so the water came from there and submerged us up. So instead of me struggling with them on the door, I swam inside. So I was there until the divers came and we did the whole rescue. And after the rescue, when I went to the chamber with them, that is when the diver told me that the vessel was upside down, that the towing wire was found in the propeller of the tanker, which is the export tanker that came to pre-crude oil from Nigeria. And the divers, the surface divers that was there, they were trying to cut off the wire, and they saw the wire coiled on the propeller. So that means the slack was
that should
in the
be
water,
responsible for
the tanker.
Yes.
Because there's a rule in there when you are doing a mooring operation, the tanker is supposed to put on their engine. It's turned off.
Yes.
They will call it log out and tag out. So the mooring master goes and check and make sure everything is off then before the operation takes place. But suddenly we don't know what happened.
How it came on.
Yeah, and the tanker went to put on their engine, and the engine turned off the propeller coiled the wire and sank the vessel. And the towing vessel is just a small tugboat. When they tie a very big tanker taking 1 million barrels of crude. So and I got the full picture of actually what happened, because they draw the vessel on a piece of paper for me, showing me how the wire was coiled and everything. So I got the full picture. So that's how I knew what really happened.
Transpired.
Because when I was there in the vessel, when I swam into the second engineer's toilet, I never knew what was happening. I only knew the vessel had sunk. And I heard everybody shouting. And I was there until, I wasn't even thinking it's a day. I never knew it's up to 3 days.
How did you manage to survive 3 days underwater?
The moment I swam into that second engineer's toilet, the door got closed and everywhere was dark.
You jammed the door yourself?
No,
or
the pressure of
the water pressure.
Yes, the door closed. So I tried to open the door, the handle got broken.
Oh, wow.
There's no way for me to come out. So I checked on the door, I saw the door has a vent. So I have to use my hand to break the metal vent myself. If you ask me to do it now, I don't think I can do it.
Wow.
So I did it and I opened the door and I came out. I heard screaming. I looked at the second engineer's cabin. I saw 2 life jackets. The light was turned up, the solar light. So I picked the 2 of them. I put one on my bossers and I put one in my mouth. I have to swim down trying to get to the deck. When I got there, it was dark. I was not seeing anything. It was so cold. I was getting out of breath. So I have to find my way back to the second engineer's cabin, and an idea came into me to just check around. I checked around, I saw some coveralls. I tore them into a rope. I made a rope out of it. I tied on the door. So anytime I'm swimming down to the door to get to...
You tie it to yourself?
Yeah. So if I'm getting to the door to get to the deck, if I'm out of air, I follow the rope back so I won't miss my way. So in that process, when I used to go in and out, I found 2 dead bodies.
Wow.
They are all dead. So I was just like, trying. I tried for several times, I could not. So I just relaxed. In there, what was going through my mind was the vessel should just part so I can swim out. I never even knew the depth I was. I never knew I was there for 3 days, and got to a stage, I got tired. I just pour a little water on me to revive my strength till I start managing to breathe again. Because I have to put the fibers from the vessel into the water and hang myself.
Trying to float on it.
And when I was there, the crayfish busy eating my legs, life, eating my stomach. So I have injuries all over me. I was just there. I was just like praying, singing praise and worship, thanking God, asking God for a way out, because I've done all I could do, but it's not working. He should do his own way to see how I can be able to go out.
Wow, what a miracle.
So suddenly got to a stage, I heard a sound on the vessel. So I went down to the water dispenser. I took the water dispenser filter. It's a metal as well. I was smashing through the vessel as well to transfer signal across to whoever that is outside. So I was not hearing any.
And this is apparently after 3 days?
Yes.
Wow.
So I was still there Suddenly, I saw a flashlight inside the vessel. So I went down, I searched, I didn't see anybody. I went back again to where I was. And suddenly I saw the light coming again, boldly. I saw the water bubbling. I knew it was a diver because I've been working in a diving vessel called Wavis 5 in Escravos. So I knew it was a diver. So I patiently wait for the person to come out.
Come closer.
And he was going towards the other direction. So I have to go down in the water and tap him on his umbilical, on his back of head. And he was running, so I was just following him under the water. I was waving my hands, so he saw my hands and he saw my hands waving. When I saw him finally later, he told me when he saw my wedding ring, he was so passionate, so he had to grab my finger.
Yeah,
and,
to be sure.
Yeah, so he followed me down to where I am. So he stood at the door. I went inside and I sat down there, and he was asking me if I'm the only one in this place in terms of signal. So I told him yes, that for now I'm not hearing any shout anymore.
Okay, he was just signaling you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I told him, for now, I'm the only one in here. I'm not hearing any shout anymore. He said, okay. He said, he's coming. He went down. I think he went back to the vessel. He got the water and he brought the water and he asked me to drink the water. So I drank half of the water. He said, I should finish it. I finished the water. Later when I saw him, he told me he wanted to know if I'm really a human because he don't think anybody can survive this. They only told them to come and get the dead bodies, not human, because nobody will survive. So they were surprised to see me. So they want to confirm if I'm a human.
Interesting.
So we're doing that. So the next thing, he brought the rescue gears across to me, the dive helmet and the harness. So I wore them, and the supervisor asked me if I'm comfortable in the art. I told him yes. He said, can I breathe properly? He said, yes. Okay. The diver that was with me, he told me the name, that the name is Nico, that himself, the supervisor's name is Kobe, that I have to follow the diver and follow him as he instructed out of the vessel. So I did, and that is how we got to the bell, and I was kept in the chamber for 3 days, decompressed.
Interesting conversation. You know, I read somewhere on social media about a bottle of Coke. How did you come across
actually,
a bottle of Coke to survive on that?
I was there for that 3 days. It got to a stage, I was hungry, but there's nothing to eat. So I saw a bag, and I must go up of the wardrobe. I have to open it. When I looked at the inside, that's where I found those same coverall, and I found one sardine and one bottle of Coke. So I was just like taking a pinch of the sardine and put in my mouth, and a bottle of Coke, little of it, because the salt water I've got inside me, so all my throats, my tongues have peeled.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I was just managing to get something
into your system.
Me. So that was what I was managing for the period I was in there.
Wow, this is indeed an act of God. You were 12 of you on the vessel.
Yes, so we were 12.
At the time of
11 crew, 1 cadet.
Wow, and you were the only survivor.
Yes, I never knew I was the only survivor until I was taken to the compression chamber. That was when the diver told me that I was the 4th person that was rescued. The first 3 they got was dead. That I was the 4th person, and he is very sure that I'm the only survivor because there's no other survivor.
Interesting. You must be a very good swimmer, if I may ask.
Even then, I was not even a good swimmer. Because I was just like, I would say a trainee, because there are ways you classify a good swimmer. So I can't even classify myself as a good swimmer then, because among the team of the crew in there, I know the good swimmers in there, but they never made it.
How did you breathe? How are you breathing in there? How are you breathing?
Actually,
I was
breathing normally, but it got to a stage, I was struggling with my breath. Then it got to a stage even before the diver came, the water was rising. Was almost taking over the place that I am. So I was struggling to be, so I started opening my mouth, breathing through my mouth. So when I get tired, I pour the water on myself and I start struggling for breath again.
Oh, interesting. What a very unfortunate incident. Man, are you married?
Yes, then I was.
Wow, then you were. How did your family survive, at least the aftermath of this incident? Because I can imagine your wife, your family, knowing about this trauma, and probably at that point in time they would probably had thought their breadwinner was gone.
Actually, before I left Escravos, 3 days before I went to the marine operation, my wife called me and she said she's having bad feelings, that I should pray. And I told her, okay, no problem. So she also told me to read Psalm 54. So I do read it every morning. So when the incident took place, Nobody knew what was going on. The news was everywhere. But my wife lost his phone a day to that day.
Oh, wow.
So nobody could call her, nobody to reach
She
her.
was shielded from that information at that point in
Yes.
time.
So the company only called my elder brother that he should come to the office, that there is an incident, that there is an accident. So he came, he was with them, and every family was there as well. So they were telling them that the vessel went down, nobody survived, everybody was gone. My elder brother looked at them and told them that they should go and look for the dead bodies. That he is very sure that his brother is not dead. That they should go and look for the dead bodies, that his brother is alive.
That's faith.
And they were like looking at him that he's insane. He doesn't even know
What's
what he's
going
saying.
on?
So he told them, no, that guy is too good to die, that they should go and check. So he went home. He didn't tell my wife, he just went home. So the second day, they were still like waiting. The third day, the news broke out that Harrison is alive.
Wow.
And when he heard it, he just went to my wife and told my wife, there's a good news, there's a bad news. Which did you want to hear? My wife said, she's going to hear the two, just say anyone. So he said, there's an accident, but lastly, your husband was the only survivor among the crew. She fainted.
Wow.
So they rushed her to the hospital. My mom was just happy, praying, thanking God for me being alive.
Jescon 4 is a name you would never forget in your life.
No. I can never forget Jescon 4 because that's the name of the vessel.
Interesting. What has trauma been like for you? Because many people go into things like this, and after survival, they come up to a world of various traumas. The thought of the night, the thought of the death of your colleagues, and the struggle. How's it been for you?
Yeah, actually, even when I was there, when I was in the chamber, when I was even living, even the first week, I was even promising myself that I would never go back to the ocean again because of the trauma. I would be in my house, I would be in the bed with my wife, and suddenly I would just jump out of the bed, I would carry my wife, I want to run out of the house, that the bed is sinking. It happens for more than 2 weeks. So the experience was not really too good. So I was just struggling like that, but I have to help myself, because if I allow the trauma to overwhelm me, I don't think I will be where I am today. I don't think I will be able to think right again, because I have to go away from
that incident,
the country, and refresh myself. And I stayed in an hotel that's close to the beach. So I always go to the beach and swim, come back and swim in the swimming pool again.
Just to get more acquainted back to the ocean.
Yeah, so I refresh
So you're because I read a couple of things that said you had to make a vow, never to go back to the ocean. How has life been after May 26th? What are you up to at the moment? What are you doing presently? So are you back fully to the ocean?
Yeah, actually after the incident,
after the vow.
After I vow.
What even changed your mindset? What took you out of that vow?
Yeah, actually after the incident, I went back to the office to be working with the company.
Office, like desk work?
I was employed back as an assistant HR.
Okay.
So I was in the office, but it's away from my state where I stay.
Okay.
So the offer they gave to me cannot even take care of my bills and everything, but I was just struggling. So it all affected my home and everything. And I stays in the office most time. Instead of doing the office job, I keep thinking, I was feeling my vein in my brain dragging me. So I was like, I don't know what is happening to me. So I look at it as like I'm thinking too much. So I told myself I need to face life once and for all. That if you fly on air, if you in the water, from your street to your house, anything can happen.
Yeah, very correct.
That death is inevitable. So I know one day I'm going to die, but I have to help myself. I don't need to stick myself to what I'm doing. So I just decided that if it's death, let it come. That's the same God that saved me in the ocean.
Come again.
Will always guide me and protect me. So I took the risk and I went back to South Africa and I went to do a diving course. And when I got there, everybody was surprised that they were observing me. They are not sure if I can get in the water again. So they first of all put me in the drum. They put me in the drum. They want to see if I can keep myself there for hours. So I was there. I kept myself for hours. I did wedding in the drum. I did so many things. So they were surprised that this guy is comfortable. So they took me to the sea. So I did the training successfully. And I went back to offshore again as a diver. Then today I started diving since 2015. I'm back in the offshore.
Okay,
I've
since
been diving.
2015, you're now a professional diver.
Yes. And even I've dived where the vessel sank.
Oh, really?
I've dived there and I've been diving everywhere. But day and night, I'm always in the ocean. I never allow my
The
past
trauma of the
or the
past.
trauma to come.
What
All
about
of us.
health-wise? Do you have a clear bill of your health?
Yeah, after then, I know if I do not look after myself, nobody will look after me. So even when I came out from the incident, I have a lot of bruise in my body. They only gave me antibiotic and vitamin C. So I took them, but my ears were still bringing out pus. But the company told me I should go to a particular hospital called Humanity, and I went there for a treatment. And the treatment was still going on. The ear was still bringing pus because when I bathe cold water, the ear will bring pus. When I bathe hot water, it will get less a bit. So the specialist just came and wrote a medical report to my company that I'm fit for work, I'm okay. And I went back to the hospital and showed them my ears that is still bringing out pus. They said I should go to my company back to get a recommendation later. I got back there, they told me there is a report from the doctor that I'm okay, that I don't need to go back there. So I went home and went back to my mom, and my mom said I should not worry, and she locally worked on the ear and I was fine and back again. And I thank God ever since then to date, I was fine health-wise, but it only affected my legs. The incident affected my legs. But if I don't tell you, you will not know. Yeah, but it affected my legs. My leg became bigger because 3 days in the ocean,
Salt water.
in your legs, yeah, it's a real problem. But I managed it. I'd never behave or feel like it has affected me, but it affected my leg actually. So ever since then, I'm okay. BP, everything. I do my medical check and I always pass. I'm very fit.
That's good.
To do every job.
It's good to hear that.
So, but by the grace of God, I'm still.
Any regrets? Do you have any regrets?
No, right
Is
now.
there anything you would look back and say, I wish I did not, you know?
Yes, actually, I wish I did not take the decision to become a diver today. I think I would have not been alive because the frustration I was getting from the company after the incident. The Chevron, they hired a vessel we're working for. I never saw them with my eyes. The company I was working for never did anything for me. It was like Living is going to die. They were all thinking I'm going to die after the incident because
The post-event trauma maybe would have killed you or something.
yes, that's what they feel, that several accidents of vessel going down, people survive an hour, 2 hours in the water, they end up dying. I don't know, probably because of the trauma or maybe the depth or the pressure that acted on them. I don't know, but that was the same feeling they were having. But they were all surprised to date. I'm alive and I became a diver again. So they never believed. But I took that decision because of what I was facing. And the company I was working for and the company that had a vessel, nothing. I never got anything from them. I never not even a visit. Not even a visit. It was only the day of the Thanksgiving in church that I did that my company came. After then, nothing. Not even Chevron that we were working for. They were even lying that we went to do bunkering. A tugboat that is doing the mooring operation, how will it do a bunkering? How will it be able to do it? But they told you why it's between two vessels. But they were just lying that we were doing bunkering operation, this is that. Just lying. But I really thank God for my life.
Yes, let's leave the unfortunate aspect of it and thank God for the fact that you survived it. You're a living testimony.
Yes.
And you're here trying to better your own life and trying to make, the best out of it. And we're happy to have you here as our guest. A lot of times we hear about a lot of accidents on the waterways, and people don't survive it. Sometimes you even hear 1 hour, 2 hours, and the person is gone. In recent times, we've had a couple or a celebrity we all know that they had an unfortunate incident, and unfortunately we lost somebody that we actually all really love. So having you spend 3 days, 100 feet on the seabed of the ocean, it's a big testimony. It's a big testimony that you are alive. It's a big experience. And what crowns it up the most is the fact that you've embraced your fears that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Stronger, yeah.
So you have gone back to the ocean to continue with your career path, even on a different note this time. Now you have transitioned from a chef
Yeah.
to a diver,
To a diver.
to the accidented AQUANAUT, as they said in social media, now to a diver. How has diving been?
Yeah, diving has been so great because I enjoyed it, because the moment I went to South Africa doing this training and I saw the fun behind it, and I saw the charisma inside the divers, because they walk like they walk like the military people. When they say go, they go. They are just so eager.
Very swift.
Yeah. So because they tell you every hour is accountable for
Every life, sorry.
every hour of their working environment or working hour is accountable for. So they have to.
You have to be swift.
Yeah. So, and I saw the law of the charisma behind them, and like everybody wants to get busy.
To be a diver, it's a very passionate job.
Yes, you have to be passionate, and you have to be smart, and you have to be like, you have to think 10 times faster than a normal human being. Because you are down there alone in the ocean, nobody's with you. Whatever problem you have there, whatever solution you have to get,
You have to
across
find
to
one.
that job you are doing, you have to think of it, you have to do it
On the
alone.
spot.
Yeah, on the surface you will see 4, 5, 6 guys struggle with a particular object. But when you go down there, it's just you and you alone, and you are being timed, and you have to get that thing done.
I'm sure you owe a lot to the divers that came for you.
Yes, actually, they have been my friends. And tomorrow they're still my friends, because we do communicate, we do talk.
South African guys are
Yes,
here.
they're South Africa. One is from Zimbabwe, one is from South Africa.
Very interesting. I saw pictures of them and I'm like, this is real life heroes.
Yeah.
They're your real life heroes. They came at the appropriate time, because who knows what would have happened if you survived, if you managed to be there till the 4th day or 3.5 days.
Yeah, when I came out, I met with the managing director of the company, and he told me that Chevron was saying that since nobody floats, the vessel is there, so they should forget about us. But he said, because there's a south diving operation going on in Mistras, that's Konofij, that they should go for the rescue of the dead bodies, that they should get the dead bodies, because they know the tradition of our people. At least, if you don't get them alive, get the dead bodies. So that is why they came. I wish they followed the order of Chevron. They would have not come for rescue.
Everybody would have
died in there.
Unfortunate. How, out of the 12 crew members, were they all Nigerians?
Yes, it was 11 Nigerian, then 1 Ukrainian,
Oh, really?
which is the chief engineer.
Oh, really? So the captain of the vessel itself.
Yes,
Was
he's
a
a Nigerian,
Nigerian.
yeah, a Niger guy. Love the Caribou.
That's his name.
Yeah.
So unfortunate, so unfortunate. But we're happy. We're happy to have you give testimony
Thank you very
and
much.
to stand representing the departed ones. And this conversation we're having sounds as an awareness to people that things like this have happened, things like this still happens, and we should all be happy where we are today, and we should understand that there's a God factor that's keeping us. Yes, having said that, what would you advise to operators of vessels? Because like you said, what led to this vessel the capsize of your vessel is an error.
Yeah, it's human error.
Human error.
Yeah.
Human
Human error and poor communication. That's what I also say as well too. Because I wish the mooring master could communicate
Yes.
with the captain of the vessel
To know what exactly the vessel was
Yes.
still on, or
Yes.
things were running.
Because the tanker was drifting towards the XPM. So you just have to call the tugboat to pick the slack from the water and pick tension and get the vessel back in position. So that is just
That was
all
just
he
the
needed to
error.
do. Yeah, but the mooring master, they didn't do that.
In saner climes, I think somebody should be held responsible.
Yes, actually, the mooring master and Chevron himself should be held responsible, because they brought an incompetent mooring master from India into the operation that leads to that.
Was anybody held accountable?
We couldn't even see the mooring master to date, because Chevron flew him out of the country. When we were in DPR office for an interview, the mooring master was nowhere to be found. To date.
Wow. So So it's a situation of not being accountable, because in incidents like this, somebody should be held accountable, since it's a human error. Mr. Harrison, we're so happy to have you.
What our advice is this: as a skillful worker, if you are in any operation, in any company, in any vessel working, you should be proud of yourself. Your primary aim, your skill should be your primary aim. Whatsoever you are doing is better. If you don't know how to do it, you ask questions.
Yes.
It's better to do it right than to do it wrong.
Not to fail it, because you can't know it all.
Yes, because if the captain or the chief mate on the way at that moment in time could hit the towing wire to roll off the water, or to hit the emergency alarm, we would have all jumped out in the water. Would have woke up and jumped in the water. But we do drills every day. A night before that night, we did a drill. But
Unfortunately.
when the incident took place, it's just a snap.
Yeah.
No
A
alarm,
twinkle of an eye.
nothing. He lost all knowledge. So I feel he's not confident of himself. And I keep telling people, in any situation you find yourself, calm yourself to the lowest, down. Take charge of the situation. Don't let the situation take charge of you. Because before people died in an accident or incident or whatsoever, the panic, the fear kills them first before they read that. So, but if you take control of the incident, I don't think anything can happen. You can be able to control it, at least to the minimum.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have a strong mind to calm myself down, it has happened. Highest is death. Let me just be patient, calm myself down, and following up the situation. I would have died in there, because even the diver that rescued me told me that if he's the one that was in my shoes, he would have died.
Yeah, because the moment you start to panic.
And when people watch the video, they ask me one particular question: how come you were so calm in there? I told myself, I found myself in the situation already. What will I do? I've tried my best to get myself off the seabed.
Yeah.
I cannot. Then I just leave nature take place. I just only pray to God. If it's your will, as it is in
Let your
heaven,
will be
let
done.
it be done. Because there's nothing I can do. I never even knew then the depth I was, that if I even tried and get to the surface, I will die.
Yeah.
It was when I became a diver, I knew of barotrauma and whatsoever, that if I struggle and get out of that place, because the air I'm going to breathe out there will be too light for me. So I need to be taken to the compression chamber first before I can breathe out the normal air. Because when I was coming out from the compression chamber from the door, I waved. I almost fell down. The diver behind me heard me.
You.
So, yeah, I wish I struggled myself and came out from the vessel. I would have died. Because when the divers dive, when they're coming out from the depth, they tell you after hand, this is your maximum speed you can move with from down. But because I was there, I'm not with any oxygen. I would want to like pop up. Before you see my lungs will go off.
You bust out.
So I never knew those things. But I also thank God for the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding for me
keep you
to calm
calm.
myself down.
Keep you calm.
So that's why I always advise that if you are doing a job, be courageous, be sure of what you are doing. If you don't know, ask. Don't let panic overtake you. Because if I tell you many accidents that's going on is fear. That panic is always there affecting people.
Interesting. Your life story and the unfortunate incident of May 26, 2013 can only be regarded as an act of God. We thank you so much for sparing your time, for giving us an insight. I'm sure them CNN and all the big channels have gotten opportunity to have their own insight. Now we have our insight on NIMASA podcast show of what transpired on that very day, directly from the horse's mouth. Thank you for making our time, and the NIMASA family and the podcast team wishes you a very good life.
Thank you.
We wish you all the best in your present and your future endeavors. And we also take out this time to pray for the souls of all the departed, on that fateful day. May they continue to rest in peace. So to my viewers, that will be all for today. You can watch this episode again on our NIMASA portfolios, on all our NIMASA channels, on all our NIMASA handles, on every social media platform, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, and Facebook at NIMASA Official. Don't forget to subscribe to all our social media handles. See you next time. That will be all. Thank you.